The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back into it, and we're back at it. This is The Local Show, Tom and Steve. On The Local Show, broadcasting from the Zoe Advertising Studios that are sponsored by Victory in Motion, the home of knee repair, not knee replacement. And you can see us on YouTube as well. So you can see what Steve actually looks like.
So just don't mix me up with a picture of Sasquatch. He's got more hair. We're the same height and everything. Tom, it's the time of year. We're getting several inquiries with people saying, we got to do marketing next year. We're trying to figure it out. We're talking about it. If you have a business or feeling like you want to have a conversation, give us a call or just hit the website, Zoe Advertising, or send an email to Steve at Zoe Advertising, and we can say, hey, here's some options. And of course we do the show, but we do the digital, the social, we have a billboard, all kinds of things that could help businesses. So love to hear from you and help make a plan for 2026. Can you believe 26? Wow.
I know. Comes along fast. So right now, somebody new to the show, but the client is not new because we've been doing business with the Air National Guard for a while. We're going to talk with Tech Sergeant Sarah Pietricola from the New York Air National Guard 174th Attack Wing. How are you, Sarah?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good. And I was, happy to see the last name because you are a descendant of the great Tony Pietricola.
Yes, sir.
And Tony and Fran, who were Goombas.
How do you know them?
My grandmother's best friends were Fran and Tony.
Oh, wow, okay.
Awesome.
I grew up. Yeah,
Super small world.
Yeah, they've known me since I was a little boy.
Wow.
And then Tony was a great musician. Ran the Moose Club band and all that. And
oh my goodness.
My father being a musician, he brought my father into the music business.
Wow.
He was a prodigy on the trumpet.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So, what brought you to the military growing up here?
That's a great question. So I actually went to school up at Mexico. So born and raised on a farm, had big dreams going to college, and I wanted to be an art teacher so bad, and kind of follow that teacher footsteps that the Pietricolas seem to have.
And creativity.
Yes. So I went to SUNY Oswego, and then I was like, feeling a little like not bored, but like in a rut a little bit. And then also college was getting kind of expensive for me. So when I was 19, I called around to all these different recruiters, and I landed on actually the Air Force Reserves, not even the Air National Guard. And then I was driving to Buffalo for my drill weekends, my 1 weekend a month, for like 3 years. And I was like, there's got to be a base closer to where I live.
Yeah. But you enjoyed the process. You enjoyed being part of it.
Yes.
It just was kind of a hassle to drive that far.
So I was like, there's got to be a base closer. And then while I was at school, a recruiter who I ended up being a recruiter alongside with for a little bit had emailed my school email saying there's a base in Syracuse, and I was like, no way. So I ended up lo and behold, 30 minutes from my house. So I ended up transferring, and then I told my recruiter, it's kind of my dream to be a recruiter. He was like, oh, well, there's an opening. And then I kind of slipped right into a recruiting position and kind of been there ever since.
Explain the difference between the Guard and the Reserves, because they're not the same.
Yeah, it is a little bit different. The structure of the scheduling is the same. But they're both part-time military. But the Air Force Reserve gets their money only from like federal funding. So usually they have like a host, like a mother base, which in Buffalo, it was Wright-Patterson Air Force Base out in Ohio. So they got their funding from there, like they kind of worked alongside them. But the Air National Guard, we get our money federally and from the state.
Okay.
So it's really a money thing, as most things are.
But how does it affect what you do?
I mean, it doesn't necessarily affect too much within your career field, but with the state being involved, we actually kind of get more opportunities to go do community-based stuff.
Okay, regional things.
Yes, the Air Force Reserve didn't really do that because they didn't have funding from the state to do that. So kind of the nice thing with the state, with the Air National Guard is you can actually go within your local community, and if there's a flood or a blizzard or something, you can kind of go back and help with that, and they'll pay you with state money.
Okay, so when we see the drones flying over, that's you guys.
Yes, it is.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, so our base is really cool. We're kind of spearheading the way with technology and schooling and all of that. So our base actually has a pilot school. So whether you're an active duty pilot, reserve, guard, if you were given the MQ-9 or you applied to be an MQ-9 pilot, you actually come to Syracuse to do your schooling.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people will see them flying around and like, what the heck kind of aircraft is that? You know, like, what is that? And it's actually our aircraft being flown by pilots in training over our airspace in Syracuse. So it is really cool.
So what are you trying to recruit?
We're trying to recruit anyone who wants to be local and still serve in the military and be part of their community, and then also kind of reap those benefits that come along with it.
Tell us about the benefits.
Yeah, so we pay for all SUNY schools. So any SUNY school you want to go to, that's kind of my big thing. I'm telling the younger kids now, because a lot of them don't know how they're going to pay for it. We have an amazing insurance, health insurance.
So if someone's in the Guard, they get that.
Yes, they do get it.
Apart from whether employment or
even if they're part-time, right?
Yeah, exactly. They get it. And then you can like double stack it with other insurances you might get from like your civilian employer, things like that. But the TRICARE is really great. And then you're obviously, getting a pretty nice retirement too. And all you got to do, like, I'm going to retire at 39. Which is pretty insane, right?
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
I always tell it's usually the parents that react more than the kids to that, because they're like, what? Like, no way. Because, I joined when I was 19 and 20 years, and, I'll be able to retire, or I can go even longer if I want, which I probably will. I'll probably be in the military till I'm like 60. I don't know.
No way. That's so old.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna retire at death.
Yeah, Tom and I have the same plan.
Yeah. Got to keep it going. That's the Italian way.
So you can. Who is it that you want to talk to about the career in doing that? And what is the obligation? Is it once a weekend, once a year? What are they required to do?
Yeah. So our target, audience that we're trying to reach is anyone from 17 all the way up to 42, right? So we have a pretty wide age range. And then, what was the second part?
and then what is it that you like? What are you attracting them to? Like, say, hey, come here. I'm committed. I have to go when and how long?
Yeah. So it's 1 weekend a month for 6 years.
Okay.
And then sprinkled in there is 2 weeks of training, typically once a year.
Do you have to go to a big training for a few months?
No. So it depends on the unit. There's some units that actually like to go on trips. I know, for example, like our medical group, like they love going overseas. This past year they went to Italy. Terrible place to go. I know,
that's
for
awful.
2 weeks. So we do have those trainings, but then you can stay local if you want. If you express to your supervisor, I don't really want to travel, or I'm in college, I don't really want to, get away from my studies, whatever. They'll work with you. They'll either spread, sprinkle around the days. Maybe you just add a couple days.
So it's pretty flexible.
Yeah, it is super flexible, and that's what I like to tell, especially people who want to join for like college benefits, is we are very accommodating of things you have going on in your personal life and college classes and all that.
So this is a way to serve. Oh, by the way, get it paid for. Have some benefits. Maybe do some travel. My son was in the Air Force. He's in the reserves now, but he wanted to travel, and he's been a whole bunch of places because of it. So there's some opportunities there. Find information. The 174th Attack Wing. You can put in a whole bunch of things, but you can find it's pretty to find it. And so last question, how does someone, a technical sergeant, what's technical versus regular sergeant?
So technical sergeant, it comes after staff sergeant. So at that point in your career, you're considered a technical expert in your career field. Okay,
she's very powerful. Yeah. She's very strong. So talk to Sergeant Sarah at the 174th, and we appreciate you coming, and it sounds like great opportunities.
Yes, thank you. And one more thing to add, we actually had someone call us because of us being on this already.
There we go.
So it's working. It's working. The advertising is great.
That's awesome.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.